What is up, everybody? It's Sam, and we are back with another episode of Pessimistic at Best, the podcast. And I have Mickey on the pod. And we might look a little bit different today. I'm trying a new look.
Yeah, no, I was really kind of leaning into that, like, techno-futurism.
And I'm loving it.
Yeah, and I just thought that this was kind of the time to get things going.
I think it makes perfect sense with the rest of my vibe.
What is your vibe? What do you list it as?
I feel like I'm definitely sort of like, I would describe my personal style and haircut as sort of grandma cowgirl vibes. Midwestern grandma cowgirl.
All right, Midwestern grandma cowgirl.
That's
I like
me.
it. Do you see my shirt, by the way?
I do.
It says Irish cowboy.
Okay.
And it has the creepiest little blonde kid on it.
Yeah, I'm loving him.
I wear this to just let people know I'm different.
Of course, yeah. Yeah, not the glasses, though. These are to let people know you're normal.
Those are to let people know I'm normal.
Right, yeah.
These are actually Grace's.
Okay,
I stole these from her. They're not real pit vipers. They are off-brand pit vipers, but
it's cool to be different.
it's cool to be different.
Well, you look amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I think I'm going to be feeling crazy when I take these off later.
You're definitely, because I explained earlier, but those are set up to like filter out the harsh light from LED lights. Yes. So when you take those off, everything will seem a lot more red than you're used to.
That's actually perfect. I love that.
It's going to look really weird for
wait.
like 11 minutes, and then it'll go back to normal.
I'm going to be staring at my cat and have an actual panic attack.
You might.
Like, why are
like,
you pink?
look at that thing's red right there. Look at that.
Right.
Isn't it crazy?
Completely. And you wear these at work just most of the days?
I probably should wear them more,
Okay.
but I actually probably wear them like sitting just at my desk more often than not.
Okay, totally.
Because I think they look ridiculous, and it kind of freaks people out when I walk around with them on.
So cool.
Yeah.
Just a guy coming out of a shipping container wearing these bad boys.
Yeah, and no one has any questions, and I wouldn't answer them anyway.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely one that you guys are going to watch the video episode, or you're not really going to understand quite the level that we're on today. Amazing. Well, I'm really excited to have you on this podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for agreeing.
I'm excited to be. Thank you for agreeing to be on my podcast. Listen, I play music with people a lot, and oftentimes the music I play with people, those people are far more talented than myself.
Okay. Are you saying that about me?
Yeah, exactly. No, but my point is, it's like, I feel like half my life is like thanking someone profusely for being a part of something I'm doing.
Oh, completely.
You know, it's like, I know you don't have to, and I know, and it's like 90%. It's like, dude, I want to be here. I wouldn't. You know.
Okay, so true. Well, thanks.
You know,
amazing.
If I had something better to do, I wouldn't be here. No, I'm kidding.
Well, you are a busy man.
No, I'm not too busy.
I disagree.
This was a busy week, but otherwise, I feel like I don't do a lot most of the time.
Completely fair.
My new thing is I just started taking guitar lessons for the first time in my life.
I'm sorry. You make so much music, and now you're taking guitar lessons.
Well, so my dad taught me growing up.
Okay.
And he's very talented. But my dad is the coolest guy in the world. He really sucks at teaching. He's just not a born teacher.
That was like my dad in math. Yeah.
Math is a great example because he is so smart that he has a hard time believing someone could be as stupid as they are.
Completely.
So like as he's teaching me music, he's like, "What don't you understand?"
Yeah, right.
It's so simple. So he taught me the basics, but after a while, I just stopped learning at that point.
Totally.
So I just like YouTube videos and shit. It's the only way I've ever played music. So in the last like 2 weeks, I've been taking lessons for the first time in my life. I'm now almost 30 years old. And I was like, oh, I should have started this 7 years ago.
You feel like you're really learning a lot?
Like in the last, it's unbelievable. I feel like I, too, just like have discovered my actual enjoyment for playing guitar.
Sure, reigniting the passion, yeah.
Because a lot of, I feel like playing music, for me personally, is just the planning, like booking, planning, and like doing weird shit.
Totally.
I can swear, right? You said that already.
Absolutely swear-friendly pod. I have to mark every single episode as explicit. But it's cool. That's a cool thing to do, I think.
But So I just like stopped learning guitar, and that's not being said. I don't play guitar. I play it often, but I play the same songs, and I play.
Sure. Okay.
I play the songs I write, and I play the songs my friends write. But I haven't like learned a new song in probably 10 full years.
Okay. That's crazy. I mean, I've seen you play the hell out of that thing, so
I appreciate that. But it's something I wrote, so it's not.
Sure. Right.
It's not a lot of effort to learn something I wrote because I'm just making it up as I go. It's just like stream of consciousness.
That makes sense.
But actually learning someone else's stuff is when it gets hard, and I'm like, oh, I need to like know theory. And
so I assume you're not like in a beginner class.
I am quite literally in a beginner class.
You have to assume that they're like, okay, he's doing all right at this.
So no, I'm not like in a classroom.
Okay.
I have like a personal teacher.
Well, sure, one-on-one vibes.
Or one-on-one vibes. And I'd explain it like this. It's like he's teaching me these things and these like how to play the fretboard and like how to know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I can learn it really quick because I've been, just my fingers know how to do it.
Sure.
But I don't know what he's talking about.
Okay.
Because, there's like...
You learn backwards.
I am quite learning backwards. And I'm also unlearning all this, like, stupid shit that I taught myself to, like, take shortcuts throughout my life. So it's been really, like, actually super nice. I have played more guitar in the last week and a half than I have in the 10 years, combined.
Oh, that's fun.
It's been very fun. I've been really enjoying it.
I took guitar lessons with my friend Ruth, shout out, when we were like... I don't know, we must have been in early high school. And my favorite part about guitar lessons was the coffee shop across the street that we would go to afterwards.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
I was so bad. I've tried to learn many an instrument. I took piano. In middle school, I played the violin. I probably knew that instrument the best. However, I did not ever practice. And you get made fun of for playing violin. So that was also something.
That stinks.
I know.
Violin's so cool.
It's so cool.
It's the
I actually wish
instrument.
I knew how to play it now.
My friend Teresa has this theory that you can't, like, we couldn't now learn violin.
Yeah.
If you don't start as a child.
So true.
And I believe that because it's like.
It is a complex instrument.
It's so technical and like all those things. Like, no one can just pick up violin.
Yeah.
You've had to been doing it for quite some time.
So true.
Which stinks. I wish I learned violin.
Completely.
But I learned tuba. That was my first instrument.
No way.
It was tuba.
Wait, that's amazing. As like a kid?
As a 5th and 6th grader, yeah, I took, or 5th, 6th, and 7th grader, I played tuba in band.
Loving that.
And I think I only like picked the tuba because you could pick. They're like, do you want to do saxophone? Do you want to do trombone, trumpet, etc.? And I'm like, no, I want the one that is heavier than me.
Right. Yes. Really making a ginormous noise.
I want it to be super loud so I can't practice at home. And I also want it to be so heavy that my mom has to drive me the 2 blocks to school with it because I can't carry it.
Okay. So you're really thinking ahead. I'm sort of seeing a lot of strategic planning going on here.
Yeah, no, I'm all about strategic planning. Thinking ahead, seeing around corners.
That's sick. I didn't know that about you.
Yeah. I mean, on top of like piano lessons too, but those didn't stick at all. I think at some point I've played most instruments like for 10 seconds and then abandoned them. I took bagpipes for a summer.
No way.
I have a pair now. I just got a pair of bagpipes.
Wait, I feel like I knew that about you maybe. We must have talked about this.
We might have talked about this, but that's going to be my next thing. I'm going to learn.
Is that something recreationally that you're pulling out a lot?
So they're very broken. I inherited them from a family member. So I need to like repair them, but it truly is my dream to this upcoming March is to like whip them out when no one's expecting and just blast Amazing Grace in the middle of a,
I love
party. But again,
so you have a deadline.
I do have a deadline. If any bagpipe repapermen are watching right now.
I've got a lot of those in my fan group.
Yeah, because none of them will answer my emails.
Oh no!
Turns out the Irish aren't excellent at getting, following up.
Maybe when they see your cool shirt.
Yeah, I hope so.
That will do the trick.
Gosh.
You have to assume.
You have to assume.
Okay, well, a fun fact that actually just dawned on me today is that you and I have officially been friends for 10 years.
20, yeah.
2014.
Oh my God, yeah. I remember, I was thinking about this actually. I remember the day I met you.
You do?
Yes. Do you not?
No.
It's not that exciting of a story.
I'm scared.
We lived kitty quarter almost
Yes.
On our freshman year floor.
We sure did.
Shout out Celery 7A, Mayhew House.
Indeed.
And I was friends with the folks around me. And then one day...
Brag.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. But one day, our, like, in the den, the shared space, our floor put on, like, speed dating. It was like, get to know your people on your floor.
Yes.
And I was like, yeah, I don't have a fake ID, so that sounds like a great way to spend a Friday night.
Totally.
And I remember meeting you there, and I'm being like, oh, are you on this floor? And you're like, yeah. And I'm like, what room number? And you're like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, you're like right next to me. How are we 6 months into this year and I've never met you?
Crazy.
And you're like, I don't really hang out here a lot. Like,
no, I sure didn't.
Where me and like my 4 people around us all were like a unit,
totally.
Who tried to get into bars together and got kicked out.
You have to find those.
You got to find those. But no, I remember meeting you there and your roommate Kayla.
Well, Kayla was, I didn't actually live with her, but we were best friends from high school. But I was in her room all the time. My roommate was Jane.
Oh my gosh, yes. Happy birthday, Jane, if you're watching this.
Amazing.
I always used to say, no matter what, I'd go, hey,
no,
Jane.
I fully remember.
Hey, Jane, happy birthday.
Completely
Wait,
insane.
I thought you lived with Kayla.
No, I was just in her room constantly.
Did she live right next to?
She was right next to the bathrooms, and her roommate was Lauren.
Which one was Lauren?
Lauren, honestly, identical to Kayla, blonde, blue eyes.
I don't remember Lauren. Sorry, Lauren. No, I remember Kayla. She was nice, though.
Yeah.
Do you remember this bit?
Yeah. We still do that all the time.
See you, bro.
Okay.
See you, bro. And I think it started because... And I can't believe I remember this kid's name, Logan. You remember him?
Yes, I do.
He like walked by the door one day. I was like sitting in your room with you guys, and he was like, "Hey, Kayla," and then it just like went from there.
No, we still do that.
We do.
Constantly.
Yeah, I'm glad.
Yeah.
Like, hey, what's up?
It's so good.
It's like not a wave. It's not a point. It's
right.
like a claw.
It's a bit
hey,
of
what's up?
An air grab. If
what's
you
going
will.
on?
Yeah. Well, do you remember? Okay, there was like a short stint where you thought that I was British.
You're going to have to remind me of this. I don't remember.
You thought that I had a British accent, and I was like, there is no way in hell that I sound British. Thanks. But
Wait, was I like, are you British? Did I ask that?
I think you told me it was like prior to like actually us becoming friends, you were like, I thought that you were a British person.
I don't recall that. I believe it.
And I remember being like, well, thank you so much, but I'm not sure what gave you that impression.
But I'm from Wisconsin.
Yeah, quite literally from here. So that's cool. I did end up studying abroad in Europe, maybe in London specifically.
Maybe in London, yeah. Maybe you picked it up there.
Yeah, right. Years after that.
Years after. But we didn't hang out much freshman year.
Yeah.
Or sophomore year.
Well, like I said, I didn't spend a lot of time on my floor.
No. I think we actually like fully started because I knew James.
Yeah.
I can't remember when I met. I think I met James independently of you.
You think so? I can't remember.
No, I actually don't know.
I love to take credit for sort of forming friendships, so I feel like I've probably done that in the past with you too, but
I'm wondering how I met James. It might have been... Oh, I have no idea, actually. I remember like the first time hanging out with James, it was like one of those basement shows.
Totally.
And he was like performing, and I showed up. And I actually really remember he was performing, and someone got really drunk and knocked over like the soundboard that he was going through.
No way.
So his like set just cut out. Like all the speakers went out.
Oh shit.
And I remember like being, for whatever reason, I was like pretty sober. I was like, I can fix this. So I jumped
that's
into
ringing
action.
a bell.
So
yes.
I like put it back together. I'm like, go, bitch, go. And I was like, yes, that looks so cool. Did any like cool hot girls see that? Like, I totally fixed that
heroes
situation.
Bringing into action, yeah.
Heroes bringing into action. But no, I can't remember the actual first time I met James.
Well,
I'm sure he would remember.
He actually has the worst memory of all time. So I'm going to go ahead and say that that's not true.
I
think I'm going to take credit. I think I am.
I do remember, actually, funny enough, one of the first times DMing James.
Okay.
I asked him to send me an album of his.
Amazing.
B, asked him where he got his nose pierced because I wanted to do the same thing.
Totally.
And he was like, just, I don't know, the fucking piercing shop on
I think
University
we literally
of?
went to Blue Lotus.
Yeah. No, it was exactly that. I didn't go there because they didn't take walk-ins. So I drove to a place that had walk-ins or whatever. I don't know.
James and I went there. I mean, we must have made the appointment, but I do remember it being sort of on a whim. And I went and got my nipples pierced, and he got his nose pierced. And I just remember, lying there on the table, and like, you know, they shoved this insane thing through your nipple, and James was like looking down at me, and he was like, "Oh my God." And I was like, "You're not allowed to react like that. I still have another one I have to do." Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yes, we have since had to remove those because apparently I'm sensitive to all sorts of metals, but
my body rejected them.
Yeah, fun while it lasted though. So that was sort of a cool thing that we did. But yeah, he has had his nose pierced now. I mean, we're going on probably like 6 or 7 years.
I think I'm the same. I think I actually got mine pierced in Chicago. I went with my little cousin Mary Kate.
Wait, cute. I'm picturing you guys at like a Claire's.
It wasn't Claire's. It was some like creepy shop.
Okay, totally.
And
certainly a safe space to bring young girls.
Yeah, right. I say little cousin Mary Kate. She is 8 weeks younger than me. I don't know why I always refer to her as my little cousin. But I remember being really pissed because they don't just give you the ring.
No.
That you have to get a stud prior. And I was like, I don't want a stud. I'm going to look like a loser.
Yeah.
Even though now. So I got the stud. And then I was like, well, how long do I have to keep this in? Like 3 weeks? And they're like, 6 months, buddy. Fuck off.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's not what I expected you to say. But lucky enough, it fell out later. And a friend of mine
shoved it on it.
I've had this exact one in because this isn't a nose ring. This is a piece of bent metal.
No, it is not.
Yes, it is. I think it's actually intended to be a earring that you like do something. But my friend Katie LaFond, shout out, literally shoved this in my nose after it fell out and like bent it and like was like. So this is just like a bent piece of metal that will probably never leave my nose for the rest of my life.
I will say it does kind of perfectly
you can't
your
tell.
nose.
If I flipped it out, you could tell I'm not going to do that.
Totally.
But it looks bad on the other side.
And you haven't taken it out since.
And I haven't taken it. I don't know how to.
Yeah.
There is no. I would need to bend metal out of my nose.
Am I making this up or did you have your septum for a bit?
Oh, I still have my septum where you are. It's kind of gross. I had to do it. I do this. Allergy season's rough.
I
see.
It
goes away from that as I'm sneezing.
She's on hibernation mode.
It becomes kind of like a spider web, and my snot is the flies. I
understand.
And even right now, it's like tickling me. But I usually have that out for most points of the year.
Okay.
Unless I'm like around my parents or someone I'm
They
afraid.
don't know?
No, they definitely know. I mean, they
Sure.
follow me on Instagram, but. You know, or my girlfriend's parents. Like,
I understand.
I just don't need to be like full indie boy all the time.
Totally.
I like to just kind of hide it. It's also fun to have a secret.
Code switching.
Yeah. You know, I don't have it out at work either most of the time.
Right. You're just wearing these.
Right. I do like look psychotic all the time at work.
It's cool though.
I had to be. I got like unofficially reprimanded for how I was dressing at work.
No way.
Not like really, but they're like, hey man, you can't wear shorts. You can't wear basketball shorts to the office. I was like,
but I will say, is this an office or you're in your shipping container?
Right. It's both.
Because to me, a shipping container is giving you can wear whatever the hell you want.
Right. But as I split my time, I understood. When they told me, I was like, yeah, I knew I was pushing it. That's on me for sure.
Totally.
I'll wear jeans from now on. I said I'm not wearing a collared shirt though. You can't make me. I'm not doing it.
Completely fair. It's important to set those boundaries.
I can't do it. I don't own one.
You don't own a single collared shirt?
I mean, I have. So this was actually a problem this weekend. Grace and I went to a wedding, and her father. So let me rewind 2 or 3 weeks. My girlfriend Grace was a maid of honor at a wedding.
Okay, yes.
And we were up in Minnesota, and I got my suit all clean and stuff. We flew with it. I'm good to go. And I got all the way there, and Grace is getting her hair and makeup done, so she's gone. So it's just Grace's parents and myself.
Oh, love it.
And I go and check on my suit, and there's a huge hole in the ass.
No way.
Granted, this is a suit I got when I was 18.
Okay.
So, like, there's a hole in the ass, and also, like, the fabric is paper thin.
Yes.
So I'm like, Miss Hersey, will you please sew this for me? Like, I'm really sorry, but will you sew this for me? And she's like, dude, what the fuck? Like, you can't wear this.
Some stitched up.
It was really bad. So very kindly, they took me to Men's Warehouse to get a new suit.
Totally.
The coolest suit I've ever owned in my life. And also the rule was, they told me, they're like, we'll take you to get a new suit, but you can't tell Grace.
Okay.
And we wanted to see what
Grace,
she looks
stop
like.
listening.
No. She knows now, but she didn't know, like, at the time that I was not going to be showing up in the black suit I've worn my entire life.
I see.
I was going to show up in a blue suit with like not flannel, but what's like the checkered. They're not like checkered so much, but flannel-esque kind of pants.
Okay.
With like a silver shirt. Like I've never dressed this out there in my entire life, and Mr. Hersey Grace's dad was like, you gotta get this, like, you're gonna look awesome.
Oh.
So they very kindly got me this amazing suit. But anyway, fast forward to the following weekend, last weekend. It's 90 fucking degrees in Chicago, and I'm like so I'm like, I don't want to wear the long sleeve, it's too hot. So I had this like
outdoor wedding.
It's indoor, outdoor. It was at Bixie Bar.
Oh,
you ever been? It's on Milwaukee Ave.
Yes.
So it's beautiful. It's this beautiful place, and the ceiling is open.
Okay.
So there was like air conditioned, but the ceiling's open.
It's actually just going straight up.
Exactly. and at that point in night too, it was cool enough to where it wasn't an issue. But as I was getting ready in our unair conditioned apartment, I couldn't imagine. We were in an oven, like straight up. It's so hot. So I couldn't imagine wearing that. Hey, buddy, what's this guy's name?
Misho. Friend of the pod.
Friend of the pod. Come here. But I threw on the only other short-sleeved collar shirt I owned, which is like a cowboy. It's got like the fringe.
Totally.
So I threw that on. I'm like, this is fine. I got the bolo tie. I'm going to look sick. I throw that on, and we're walking out of the apartment to get the Uber, and I look down, and I fully sweat through it. I mean, it's like, not like, like when we get there, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
No, it is splotchy and gross, and it's clear that there's sweat all over me.
Yeah, totally.
So I had to run in and grab the only other collared shirt I have outside of the long sleeve is this just short sleeve one that I got actually in high school.
Naturally.
So I own now 3 collar shirts. But I'm not really a fan of wearing. I mean, outside of like Hawaiian shirts. No, I don't own any.
Okay. Well, so collared shirts to you, does that mean like the fancy kind, or even like just even like a short sleeve button up would be something you don't own?
Oh, it's all t-shirts. I mean, I'm not against it. I just don't own any.
That is like almost exclusively what I dress James in.
he's always cuffed up.
Straight up.
No, I don't know. I get all my clothes from, like, I'm wearing a shirt that my buddy thrifted for me. I'm wearing my buddy Jeff's jeans.
Okay, we love
I'm
a
wearing
hand-me-down.
Grace's socks. I don't clothe myself. I just take from others. And that's how I look.
Loving that.
I haven't been clothes shopping in some time.
Fantastic sense of personal style.
Yeah, the lack of it. I crowdsource my personal style.
Okay, well, if I'm sort of grandma, Midwestern grandma cowgirl, what are you?
Styleless, greasy indie boy.
Okay.
Constantly.
Perfect. No, that's cool.
That's cool.
I think that's definitely...
I mean, my previous roommate, Jesse, the drummer in my band, he quite literally just gives me anything that doesn't fit him.
He's a stylish man.
He's a very stylish man.
Yeah.
So I'm very lucky to have him.
He actually inspired me to start wearing more ascots.
Really?
Yeah.
And so just for the people who don't know what an ascot is, let's just explain that real quick.
A bit of a neck scarf.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah, a bit of a neck scarf. Just a little...
I thought an ascot was like when... What's it called when you're wearing like a blazer and you have like a fake, like it's just a V, but it looks like you have like a collared shirt on? What is that called? Do you know?
No, No, I think that's called something that we should leave in whatever era it came from.
Cool. You know what movie I just watched with Blake Lively?
She was wearing one?
Yeah. She like takes it off. It's sick. What's the movie we just watched? It was so fucking weird. It's Blake Lively and Anna Kendrick.
New movie or old movie?
Relatively old, 6-7 years maybe. She like no.
I don't even know them as a pair. I can't picture it.
I had never heard of this movie and I couldn't believe it because I love Anna Kendrick and her.
I mean, yeah, iconic woman.
But she like I won't spoil it for you. But she wears these crazy clothes and she had one of those. I was like, I need one of those.
Of course.
That's sick. And Grace is like, nope. I'm like, I'm gonna get one of those.
I don't even know where you would buy one of those.
Internet. Fucking
so true. But I mean, when the world is sort of your oyster, I suppose you can get things anywhere.
With these glasses too? Or those?
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I can see it. I am loving being in these, but now I do think I've adjusted.
You've definitely adjusted.
Yeah.
Like I would consider leaving them on until the end of this because you're gonna take them off and be really freaked out.
Right, which is not something we want to do live on cam.
No,
too scary.
Maybe at the very end, take them off and see what it's like.
Are those colored or just regular
No, these are just
sunglasses
normal.
vibes?
Yeah,
okay,
these are just pit vipers.
Totally.
Not real, unfortunately. I wish they
How
were.
much are a real pit viper? How much do those go for these
I think
days?
they're expensive.
Yeah.
Maybe not. I have no idea. I know they're more than these. I think these are $17 gas station ones. I think pit vipers are probably 50 to 100.
Okay, okay.
In that range.
Paying that much for a pair of sunglasses is sort of beyond to me because every single nice pair of sunglasses I've ever owned, I have lost.
I can't own sunglasses.
No.
I can't even own $17 ones. I'm going to lose them.
I lose them. I sit on them. I break them.
Yeah.
I wear them inevitably into a body of water.
Yeah.
They sink to the bottom.
I just did that the other day on 4th of July. Not my sunglasses, even worse. Grace and I were up at my cottage, my parents' cottage in Michigan, and it was right after dinner, and it's about to be sunset, and I go crazy for sunsets. And I also wanted to smoke.
That's cool and unique about you.
That's cool and unique about me is I go nuts for sunsets. I have something called sunset anxiety that all my friends know about.
Okay.
If the plan is to see a sunset on a lake, wherever, and it's getting close to that time, and people aren't fucking hurrying, I become a real prick. And anyone knows it's a thing that I get really mad.
Hurry your ass up.
Because I always say, too, when I'm at my parents' cottage, I don't go often enough, and the sunsets there are amazing, but you have to be on the boat because we're east-facing.
Okay, I see, yes.
So you have to be on the boat. So you have to go to the middle and watch it.
Which takes time.
And people drag ass get into the boat. So I will say, if the sunset's at 8:30, I'll say, if you're not on the fucking boat at 8:15, I'm leaving without you. And they're like, why do you get so mean? I'm like, you don't understand.
We have a cutoff time.
We have a cutoff, and I'm not missing it. And honestly, the sunset being at 8:30 means the good shit starts at 8:15.
Okay,
so you're already late.
So true.
And I get really mean about that. But Grace and I went out for the sunset and to smoke a joint and hang out for a minute. And I brought my fanny pack with me that contained, my one hitter, my wallet, my keys.
All the good things.
All the necessities. And I turned back and it was gone.
Into the water.
Into the water, straight to the bottom. So, that was 4th of July. It's now 7th of August.
Indeed it is.
I got my keys back. I didn't get them back. I had to get new ones made. That was a sick, $250.
No.
Still don't have a credit card or debit card or ID or any of those things. I've been really rocking that Apple Pay.
Right. How do you get into bars?
Passport.
Oh, okay,
been carrying that around. Yeah.
I did that actually for a while as well.
Yeah.
I've been there.
I kind of like it because when you hand a passport to a bouncer, they're like, oh.
Right.
World traveler.
They do kind of always do okay, we got
a man
Mr.
of
Big
taste,
Shot
I
over
see.
here. Yeah. Just visiting? It's literally a U.S. passport.
I can see you've been on a trip recently. Okay. I do really like it, actually.
And it is kind of fun to flip it open. Yeah. Something that you can't really do with an ID.
Yes, and I also like flipping it open and friends going like, "Where the fuck's your ID?" And then I get to tell that story again.
Totally. Totally. Well, I used to lose everything, so I understand. I used to lose all of my valuables. I just had no like material attachment to anything that was actually important.
Right.
Keys, phone, wallet, any of the things.
How many phones do you think you've lost in your life?
So I've always found them. I have always found them.
Always.
There was actually a really, really insane day right before I was supposed to. So I had lost my passport, naturally, and I had to get an expedited one before going on study abroad. And they make you go to like a random post office in Lodi for your appointment.
Okay.
And I was supposed to be at that appointment at 9 a.m. the following day. Oh, a small town in Wisconsin.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
And probably about like 90 minutes north of Madison, give or take, maybe not quite. And I had that appointment at 9 in the morning. The night prior, I, of course, went out with friends. Oh, yeah. On the way to some frat house, I lost my cell phone. Somehow managed to drop it in a bush. Right. We get to the party. We're having a bunch of fun. Somebody uploads a Snapchat to my Snapchat story being like, "We found your phone, girl. Like, we have it if you want to come find us."
What a clever way to get it back.
Yeah, it's genius. Don't know how she unlocked my phone. Didn't ask any questions. And so a friend and I went to go collect that. Got my phone back. Everyone had left the frat house by the time that we got back there. So I was like, okay, so we're going to the bars. Ordered an Uber. Left my keys in the Uber, naturally. And so at this point, and I think, I don't remember exactly, but I somehow lost my ID. I lost a lot of things this night. And so then the next morning I woke up. I didn't have any of my belongings. I didn't have my jacket.
So at this point, just inventory real quick. No phone, no...
I have my phone back. That's it.
At this point, you got your phone back.
Lost keys, wallet, and my jacket somehow. And so I, of course, go home. It's like 6 a.m. I'm scrambling to find any other form of identification I can bring with me to prove that I am this person so I can get my passport.
Which you need desperately, I imagine, at this point, yeah.
My mom is like screaming at me at the top of her lungs. She's so pissed off at me. She's like, you are not an adult. You're not a responsible person. Right, you don't take yourself seriously.
We've all had that conversation.
So I make it all the way to Lodi, sobbing. I literally am crying in my passport photo. That's still my picture to this day.
Amazing.
And then
you're probably reaching the end of that though, because that was sophomore year.
Yes. Well,
because I just had to renew mine.
I think mine's up in 2026.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So crazy, and then we were like leaving the post office in Lodi. I had forgotten all of the other forms of identification, like there. Yep. And we had just gotten in the car.
At the post office.
Yes.
Wow.
And I like turned to James and I was like, I am so sorry. We actually have to go back to the post office. And then I managed to locate my keys and the rest of my belongings, and they were in the Uber driver's car. So we went to his day job, and I pull up and I see the car that I had gotten in the night prior just parked on the street. And I look inside, and sure enough, there are my things. Right. And he was like, I'll be there in a minute. And he pulled up in a actual garbage truck and got out, unlocked the car, and he was like, here's your stuff, and then hopped back up.
Like a garbage truck.
He was a garbage truck man.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
And he deviated from his route.
Yes. Just to sort of reunite me with my belongings.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I've never had to do that. I've never had to have
scavenger
an Uber driver
vibes.
return something to me.
Oh, that happens to me actually quite frequently.
Still frequently?
I would say I've gotten a lot better. I also try not to bring anything out with me anymore.
Yes.
The essentials.
That's huge.
Yeah.
That's what I'm learning is I will lose shit. So
100%.
I have loved this no wallet lifestyle. And if I could continue it, if I didn't need, because I can have my credit cards and stuff on my phone.
I know, right?
If I could have a form of ID that could just live on my phone, I would never carry a wallet again for the rest of my life. Because what do wallets do is collect shit.
100%.
For me personally, I just have, receipts and cards of things I'll never call in my life, etc.
Yeah, so true.
It would be amazing if I could do that. And then, I hate carrying my keys out.
Yeah,
because they're so jingly in my pocket. I would love to go that route.
I completely agree.
But
it seems like we must be getting close to that. A form of ID on your phone is not far off. I can unlock my phone with my face. There has to be something.
We have to be getting close.
Yeah.
I imagine we're right around the corner.
Seriously.
Or not. I don't know.
Okay, well, I would love to get into your good, bad, ugly.
Oh, yes.
So let's start with your good.
All right. I told you, mine are abstract.
I'm loving that.
My good is a fully grown frontal lobe.
Okay, completely agree.
My frontal lobe growing, my brain forming completely in the last
developed.
2 years. That was my good. I've just realized how nice that is.
I completely agree.
I think in the last 2 years, it's finished, and you can feel it. You can feel it finishing.
Sure.
And you'll be driving in your car, and you'll just come, and you'll be like, oh, okay.
Yes, there is sort of that realization that hits you.
Just of anything.
Yeah.
I'm just realizing things every day.
Yes, yeah.
I'm like, oh.
As the famous Kylie Jenner once said, I'm just realizing things.
I'm just realizing things. I'm just like, oh, that's why my mom was kind of mean to me. Because I was a dickhead.
Yeah.
Just little things like that.
I will say that is one of the best things about getting older. I just feel like now I, more often than not, am making the smart choice.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly not always.
I am thinking before I speak.
100%.
That's huge.
Yes,
that's massive.
That's a big one. Yeah.
I can feel that barrier in my head put up right as I'm about to say something. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
I shouldn't.
Right.
I shouldn't say that.
Maybe we keep that one to ourselves.
Maybe that's an inside thought.
Yeah. I feel like I've heard that happens at 25.
Yes. I'm a late bloomer.
But I think the same. I feel like I was still making some really stupid mistakes at 25. Mm-hmm. I love myself at 28. I just feel like I'm all together up here.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
I think it was between 26 and 27 is when it fully formed. And now 28, it is fully formed. I can look back and be like, oh, that was the transitionary period.
Putting some things into context.
And now I'm like, oh.
I have heard this bad news, though.
What's that?
Now that it's fully developed, we're just on a steady decline until we die. So I really do hate to burst your bubble, but this is as good as it gets.
Well, I mean, they say, the most healthy you'll be is 18.
Sure.
It's comforting to know that there's more milestones along the way. I've heard people say that your 40s are the funnest years of your life.
I'm ready to believe that.
I a very long time ago, I was very drunk with one of my best friends and the singer of my band, Jimmy. I was drunk with him and his parents.
Oh, love.
And we were playing one of those card games where it asked kind of, in-depth questions. And it was like, what was your favorite age? And I answered 23.
Okay.
And I think I was 25 at the time.
Okay.
And I think Jim answered 22. And we're like, because it's you're almost an adult, but you have none of the responsibility of being an adult.
So
etc.
true.
Those kind of young things. And both his parents said 46 was the best year of their life.
46.
And I was like, really?
What the hell happened at 46?
they said that that's when you're just you absolutely lose all care of what anyone in the world thinks about you except for your spouse or significant other.
That sounds fucking fantastic.
They're like, nothing matters. You got children and a spouse, and it's the most content you could ever be. I'm like, wow.
I'm loving the sound of that.
That's really nice. That sounds really good, Mr. Danowski.
Straight up. Hard to argue with that.
Hard to argue with that. So that was very nice. So yeah, that's one of the upsides.
We're on our way up.
We got 20 years still. So that's my point where, obviously we're on a decline, but I think the fun keeps going up for quite some time.
I love that. I also feel like I've really enjoyed the process of getting older, and I feel grateful for that because I don't think everyone feels that way, but I think that's why I think it's important to be around at least for me, a city where there's still so much to do. It's not like
you don't stagnate.
Yeah. So true.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Shit keeps on going.
Shit keeps going, but also it's important because there's this other take that, it's a fact that, your brain is now developed, so there's not a lot of space for shit anymore. New interests are much harder to adopt.
Okay.
Because you've already sort of set yourself in stone, and that goes very much for music, where they say that between 22 and 28 is where you lock in what your taste in music is.
Oh, wait, that's very interesting.
And so that's why you ask your parents, what is your favorite song? Well,
Sure, it's all their favorites
it's
from those
when
times.
they were 27, it's 28. It's because that's when you choose your favorite music, and you don't branch out from there any longer.
Thank God Charlie XCX was in that period for me.
So it's so funny you said that because I was just about to talk about Charlie XCX. Because I've been on this very active mission where I was like, I got really afraid one day where I was like, I don't want to stop listening to music. I like listening to music and I enjoy it.
In terms of like new music,
keeping up with the music changes as it goes on. And the last thing I want to be, I'm very strict about this, is I don't want to be one of those people who's like, oh, fucking kids these days.
Sure.
That's so annoying to me because that's what do you mean? That's what's happening now. It's
totally.
Like they run the show. So I've never listened to Charlie XCX a day in my life. I mean, I've heard the hits, but Brat came out and I was like, this is, the first step in a long journey of opening myself to new things.
I'm loving that for you.
So I was in Ireland, actually. I was in Kilkenny, Ireland, and I was going for a walk by myself, and I saw Brat pop up, and I'm like, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, we're going to dip our little toes in.
I'm not a pop music person so much. I don't know what she is, but I've seen it all over the place. I listened, loved it. Like, fucking loved it. I didn't get it at first. The first listen, I was like, okay, now in my head, going nuts. I know she's married or dating the guy in 1975, who I really like the 1975. So I was like, and I'll be honest, it took me a couple listens to, like, really understand what was going on. But yeah, I listened in the car on the way to work today.
She got your ass.
She got my ass. I mean, it's good. It's good music. And it's like...
I agree completely.
The lyrics don't really mean anything.
Definitely, like, not the point. Yeah.
That's not the point. Yeah. And that's kind of what I love, too. And then I was watching... Then also when I, like, get into someone, I need to watch everything about them ever. But there's this whole, like, breakdown of her music, specifically her song Vroom Vroom, which rocks. Never heard of that before last week. It's how her lyrics quite literally purposefully don't mean anything. Like, don't mean anything sometimes.
Totally.
And I thought that was so interesting. I'm like, it's just another instrument. What, like a guitar doesn't mean anything when it plays a note.
Sure.
There's no deeper meaning behind the, quote unquote words of a guitar. Why does that need to, why do lyrics need to mean something? They could just be another instrument.
I love that.
Scatting random words all over the place. And I thought that was fascinating. I've never, like, heard anything like that.
Just to, like, help the flow of the song or whatever.
It's just another instrument. And, how do you play the instrument of words? You just sing them. So that was really interesting. And I was like, oh, that's super cool. And I've never heard anything like that before. So when I started listening to her music, and obviously some of the songs on Brat do have, like, a deeper meaning. There's the one about Lorde. Yeah. There's the one that's probably about Taylor Swift.
Yeah. There's one about Sophie.
There's one about Sophie, obviously. So I'm not trying to discredit her. All her lyrics can have a deeper meaning.
Yeah.
But once you more listen in the mindset of, like, you don't need a pitchfork, a fucking Brat album.
Completely true.
It can just be. It can just exist.
We don't have to, like, sort of dig for a gold nugget in there.
Yeah, we don't need, like, a, English thesis on the, of it all. It could just be cool.
Yeah.
And I really like that. That was really super interesting to me.
No, she's amazing. I'm glad that she won you over in the long run.
She won me over, and I wouldn't have been into it at all unless my girlfriend got me into Chaperone.
Okay.
Which has fundamentally changed my brain chemistry.
I remember that you were a fan, yeah.
I'm such a big fucking
fan of hers. She's fucking iconic. I mean,
her
trajectory is, like, insane.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I got to see her at the House of Blues.
Oh, I was there that night. Or, well, she was there a couple nights.
I knew this. She was there a couple nights. I was the night after you guys. Yes,
that's right. Yes.
I went the night after you, and I only got tickets because I just, like, posted on my story, hey, I'm looking for Chaperone tickets, and a very, 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 very old friend of mine who I haven't spoken to in a very long time, shout out Kayla, she was like, hey, me and my girlfriend are selling ours. Do you want them? And I was like, yeah, how much?
First of all, huge mistake.
Yeah, huge mistake.
I think tickets are going to be hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, I don't think she wanted to sell them. I think they had something come up.
Totally. These things happen.
But she sold me to House of Blues, which is what, like 800 people?
Yes.
For $30.
Amazing.
That's it. That's the last time I'll see her.
I know.
It was so cool. I couldn't find anyone to go with me.
Oh.
I eventually got my friend Alexa to come with me. Shout out Alexa. I keep shouting out people. But
all friends of the pod.
All friends of the pod.
New friends.
But yeah, I remember I had to meet her there because she was doing it. Well, I was there. She had to meet me there. And she like showed up and I handed her like an edible and a tall boy White Claw. I'm like, let's go, bitch. Let's do this.
That's all you need to have a successful time at a Chaperone concert.
It was unbelievable. Because she hadn't even... she was about to start tour with Olivia Rodrigo at that point.
Tour.
So she hadn't even gone on tour yet.
I think that just blew her out of the fucking water.
I think that blew her out of the water too. So that was so sick. I'll always look back on that as like one of the coolest concerts I've ever been to.
100%. Okay, well, now I would love to get into your bad.
Okay, so my bad... Good was brain fully developing.
Loving it.
Bad is also brain fully developing.
Okay.
And the consequences of that.
Let's dive in.
So this was my take was like, is now you are accountable for your own actions and thoughts. And you're also aware of the accountability that you hold for past thoughts and actions prior to full actualization.
Mm-hmm.
So, for instance, I had touched on it earlier, but like I have like been hit with overwhelming like guilt or like things like, why did I treat my mom that way?
Sure.
Why didn't I listen to my dad more? You know, things like that. Why was I mean to my sisters? And that the actualization kicks in of like, now that I'm an adult and my brain is formed, it's like, why was I such a prick?
Totally.
Why did I have to be like that? No, and you know, I think you always have that hindsight. You know, when you're a senior in high school, you look at yourself freshman year in high school and say, why was I like that? When you're a senior in college, you look at freshman year in college, you say, why was I like that? But this is a different sort of...
I agree.
It's a different, more like poignant... what's the term I'm looking for? Like... self-reflection.
Yeah.
Of like, oh, now I am responsible for these thoughts and feelings and actions of myself. And it's growing up, and then it also breaches into like the existentialism of it all, of like you had mentioned, it's all downhill from here, you know.
So scary.
It is so scary, and you're on your own.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a very strong, scary, empowering at times, but mostly scary feeling of like, oh, I'm alone in this body that I have here. It's a very strange feeling, being like, oh, I have people around me and I have people that I love, family, friends, girlfriends, etc. But all the thoughts going up here are just mine, and I'm alone with that.
Yeah.
And that's a very strange feeling. It's not necessarily scary thinking you're alone with those.
I mean, I think it's a little bit of everything all at once, right? Like, sometimes it's like overwhelming, and other times it also rocks.
It also rocks.
Yeah.
And it could also be both of those things at the same time.
Completely.
It's just very like, oh, I'm on my own healthcare. I do, do my own taxes. I, etc. All these things, and I'm on top of them. But oh my God, is that a scary thought?
I just did the thing where I signed up for my own phone plan for the first time. I'm off the parents' phone plan. That was a big one for me.
I think my 35-year-old sister's still on my parents' phone plan, so I'm not getting off anytime soon.
No, literally, I went home. My dad retired, and he retired a little bit early, so he's certainly he's not getting his Social Security yet,
Mm-hmm.
And so I think they're trying to save where they can.
They're trying, cutting quarters.
So he was like, please fuck off. And I was like, completely love and respect that. And then I did.
Isn't it cheaper, though, to just have
and then he was like, okay, I'm actually still paying the same price.
Right.
And I was like, fantastic. Well, now I have a brand new bill that I didn't have before.
No, I have, $80 a month that I wasn't expecting. Yeah. Oh, and you're paying the same amount. Because it's better in numbers. Yeah. Yeah.
So
not interested in that.
Screw you, Verizon. But that was a big one for me, because health insurance, I remember being like, okay.
Health insurance is rough.
Crazy.
Yeah. Just even getting into it. And then they send you a packet.
Oh my God. And it's massive. Nobody's talking to you about the size of the packet.
And no one is talking to you about whether or not you're supposed to read it.
Right. Which certainly I didn't do.
And also, I mean, I'll talk about healthcare forever, but it just also, and that's the other part of the ugly part of, self-actualization of it all, and like your brain growing, is like, I've also had to realize that my mood is my own, and I'm responsible for that.
Completely.
Because I get so pissed off at healthcare, at anything government related. I think I had a full meltdown trying to renew my passport, because I just get so mad.
Well, they certainly don't make it easy.
They don't make it easy, and I also feel like everyone's trying to scam me all the time.
Okay.
It's always a scam.
You're just like my father.
Exactly. And I actually had a talk with my mother about it, actually, and I was like, really kind of venting to her. I was like, I feel like everything's a scam. I feel like everything's a scam, and everyone's trying out to get me. She's like, well, I got bad news for you. It is, they are, and you have to get over it, or you're never going to have a good life. And I was like, oh, shit.
That's just sort of the way the world works, honey.
Do you get that these days where your parents will drop like crazy knowledge on you as though it's nothing, and you're just like, oh.
Yeah, basically constantly.
And you're like, what a thing to realize.
I know.
Oh, and you have to like, whoa, Mom, that was really deep, whether or not you knew it or not.
Well, and I feel like that's the thing about, sure, maybe from now on out, we're sort of cognitively declining. However, we're building up years and years of experience that we can kind of speak to. Because sometimes my mom will just hit me with, something so crazy. And I'm like, okay, yeah, you have been on this earth for 62 years. Yeah. I guess I just can't really level up to that. Yeah. I don't have that.
And you won't be able to until you're there. And you can impart the same sort of twisted wisdom onto your own children.
100%.
Because it just all comes with age, and it's crazy to me how there's so much life left to live in this crazy thing, and we're you're 28, I'm 28. 2x that, we're gonna learn that amount in those amount of years. So there is some wisdom with age, but also the kids got it right as well, just the kids got it right.
Right. I mean, I completely agree.
Because I'm very strong in that. Whenever I start hearing anyone, my sisters or anyone start talking shit about the Gen Zs, Gen As, I'm like, hey, no. They got don't become that.
I know.
Don't become the kids these days.
Seriously.
Because the kids these days were you 10 years ago.
Completely.
And you're good. And they'll be good.
I hope I don't ever lose that.
It's like,
right now it feels like I won't, but I feel like I've seen everyone.
Yeah. You have to hold on to that.
Yeah.
You have to hold on to that willingness to accept that they're going to say crazy things. You've been on that skibbity toilet shit.
Yeah.
the Riz, what is the new slang? I'm like, hell yeah, we say crazy shit.
100%.
I can't remember any of it, but when I was 15, we were making up words.
For sure.
And you bring some with you, and you don't bring others with you.
I mean, there's no way that my parents understood anything that I was saying.
Ferda?
No.
Ferda?
I can't say that I
do. Ferda boys?
You
remember that?
God.
You remember that?
No.
I was like, something, no?
I feel like all my slang was like Vine slang.
Yeah, Ferda was Vine.
It was Vine.
Yeah, big time.
I miss Vine.
God, so much.
Vine was the best.
It was like an unproblematic TikTok. You didn't have enough time to get canceled on it.
So fucking true. 6 seconds.
6 seconds.
There's only so much damage you can do
in 6
seconds.
You couldn't say anything sort of racist in 6 seconds unless you were really trying. And now they got the full minute to speak their mind, say something.
I think TikToks now can be up to 10 minutes.
Yeah, I was watching 10 minutes though.
Right. I mean, true.
I gotta delete TikTok. I'm wasting my life on there.
Oh my God,
I love
same.
it so much.
Me too. It's so scary.
I love staying up to date. I love staying up to date.
Me too. It is fun on there.
Oh, it's so good.
You can really learn so much about sort of the way culture is moving on that platform.
Yeah. Well, because culture is pushed by that platform and stupid words and phrases, and it happens so fast. The turnover is so quick.
I know.
And it's immediate.
Hard to keep up.
And it's trends and blah blah blah, and you can't keep up. The second you stay off for a week, you've missed a whole
100%. I work in social media marketing, and it's impossible. It's impossible.
It's impossible. And being chronically online is a job in itself.
Yes, and I'm fully committed. I'm clocked the fuck in.
I'm clocked the fuck in 24/7. Because I need to know.
No, seriously, it's important to stay informed these days.
It's important to stay informed.
Otherwise, if you're not first, you're last.
It's not first, you're last.
Okay, last one. I want to know you're ugly.
Glen Powell. I hate his stupid face. Why did we decide that he's the hot guy?
No, I actually completely agree with you.
It looks like his face. It looks like they took a much smaller person's face and put it on his face. It's miniature.
Have you seen the comparisons to him in a capybara?
A what?
You know,
oh, you're talking about one of those fucking
giant guinea pigs?
Yeah. I have not seen those, but I can imagine them.
He's consistently compared to the capybara.
It looks like someone highlighted his face and decreased the font by 5 points.
100%.
And he's always got this...
I know, there is something about the smile and the teeth.
And we all just decided that he's the hot guy now.
Yeah.
He's been in all the hot guy movies, and he plays the hot guy.
Right.
And I hate his stupid face, and I think he's not a good actor. Sorry.
I kind of agree. I definitely... Well, I think I'm also... But I don't like blonde guys, really.
Sure.
Which, no offense. If you're blonde, it's not your fault. You can't help it. Except for you actually can, because there's such a thing as hair dye.
Fix it. Fix it.
But yeah, he's like, I get that he's like stereotypically, you know, I don't know, muscular.
He's buff, and don't get me wrong, like he's chiseled.
Sure.
I don't think he's attractive though.
I know, it's the face.
It's the face. He's just like a grown-up frat
He's
boy.
a butterface.
He's not even a butterface. His like face isn't even like fucked. It's just small. It just doesn't fit his head.
Okay, totally.
And I've been just so annoyed, and I really hate him as an actor.
And you feel like he's like sort of intruding on your life a little bit these days.
A little bit. I can't get away from him.
Time. Yeah.
I wasn't into Top Gun. I thought Top Gun was bad.
Yeah. I will say I watched it with my parents, and they were huge fans, so I sort of loved it then. But I get how other people
it was just Star Wars. It was literally just Star Wars.
Yeah.
And also, I didn't like how they just called the bad guys the enemy.
Sure.
They're like, the enemies. It's like, come on.
Let's add a little bit of creativity
Call
here.
it the Russians and let's move on. I think Anyone But You.
I haven't seen it. I
cried during it.
Okay.
Not because it was sad, because it was so terrible that I like cried. I was like, I can't believe this.
In like the classic bad rom-com sense?
No.
Oh,
no,
okay.
No.
Okay.
So much worse.
Oh, sad.
It was so bad. And he's just in everything now, I feel like. And people,
for sure.
And also, not only that, he was in everything. He just wasn't famous yet. So he just pops up.
That's true.
And I'm like, I'm watching Batman and he pops up. And I'm like, why the fuck is Glen Powell?
Yeah.
Why's he got to be there?
Well, and now he's made it into, it's more mainstream. So even all the red carpet interviews and the things are getting talked about by like the TMZ and the E-News. Hard to escape at that point.
It's hard to escape. I'm sorry. I don't like being a hater. I know celebrities are people too. And it's hard for a celebrity to like exist in this world.
Sure.
I just don't think he should be cast in shit the way that he is. I think there's better people.
What's his worst movie to date?
Oh, Anyone But You is the worst movie I've ever seen.
Okay.
It was
wow.
so bad.
Okay. In the sense that I should watch it.
No.
For context.
No.
Okay.
Like I will say,
stay away.
Granted, I watched both of these movies I'm about to mention on a flight. So, you know.
Okay.
Madam Web.
Sure.
With Dakota Johnson.
Which I've heard is famously terrible.
But the good terrible.
Okay.
It was so... It's like way worse. Like way, way, way worse.
Does it know it's bad?
So do you know The Room? The Tommy Wiseau, James Franco remade it as the... do you know what I'm talking about? Oh, hi, Mark. That one?
No.
Shit. It's fine. You'd probably recognize it if I showed you still. You'd be like, oh, that fucking movie.
Sure.
Disaster Artist. James Franco remade it as the Disaster Artist.
Okay.
It's a movie famous for being so bad it's become good.
I see.
That's what Madam Web is. I think it will actually go down in history as one of the best movies ever because it's so bad.
Well, even during their press tour, I felt like
she didn't want to be
Dakota
there.
Johnson knew it was a bad fucking movie.
She was like, yeah, I made a bad film.
She was being hilarious about it.
Absolutely.
I loved her attitude about it because I was like, okay, I actually will watch it then.
Yeah, I super recommend it. It is.
Okay.
It is clear that the main antagonist in the film didn't say a word, so they had to like overdub his lines the whole time. There's very like glaring plot holes. Sydney Sweeney's in it, but like with quotations on it because she's not. They like told you that she was going to be in it. She's not in it.
Oh, interesting, because I felt like she was a big part of the press tour as well.
She's not in the movie.
Well, and she is also famously in Anyone But You.
Right.
So we're comparing two Sydney Sweeney flicks.
That are both terrible.
Okay. That must be bad for her career. You have to assume.
She'll be just fine. She'll do great. But yeah, I don't know. I got nothing against Sydney Sweeney. Euphoria is one of my favorite shows ever.
Yeah, same.
But I think she picked some bad films.
Sure.
And I don't watch horror movies, and that was also the one she was in prior to that.
Right. So true. I didn't see it.
I don't either. I don't watch scary movies.
I haven't actually seen any of her recent films, but the press tour with Glen Powell was very much giving dating.
Yeah, they did that. They knew what they were doing.
For sure.
100% knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't do it. Don't get me wrong.
I
don't blame you for that.
People are eating it up.
People are eating it up, and if you got to sell your movie, you got to sell your movie. Rent is due.
So true.
I just wish the movie didn't suck.
Yeah.
Because you can do a good rom-com.
No, I know.
There's
and in fact, we
rom-coms.
need those.
What's your favorite?
I feel like we're not getting those these days.
I know. And they book this as the first good rom-com.
Sure.
And it wasn't.
My best rom-com. That's such a hard question. I love The Proposal. I also love that.
Good movie.
Yeah. I mean, iconic movie.
Iconic movie.
You can't say a bad thing about it. I love... Gosh, there are so many. What is that one? I love some of when J-Lo was an actress, when she was sort of having her actress phase.
Mm-hmm.
All the rom-coms she was in, amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I love the... oh my God, it's on all the time.
50 First Dates?
No, it has the number 10 in it.
It has a number 10.
10 Days. It's
How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
How to Lose a Guy in 10
With
Days.
Heath Ledger and
no.
Heath Ledger. Yeah, no, it's Heath Ledger. And How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Is it? No, it's Gwyneth Paltrow. Maybe they did remake.
And Heath Ledger.
No.
Am I crazy?
It's oh my God, I'm drawing the craziest blank right now.
He sings "You're Just Too Good to Be True."
It's Wonderful Southern Man loves Texas A&M. Matthew McConaughey.
That's How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Matthew McConaughey.
Maybe they did. What movie am I thinking?
It could be a remake. I'm thinking you're thinking of Zooey Deschanel.
Not 500 Days of Summer.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm thinking of. No, Heath Ledger. This is gonna kill me. We'll look it up after this. That's a good one though. I love 500 Days of Summer.
No, it's so
I love
good.
500 Days of Summer.
Seriously.
Have you seen? It's not so much a romantic comedy, but my all-time favorite movie, About Time.
Oh my God, yes.
Rachel McAdams.
Yes,
and that
amazing movie.
Ginger guy.
Yeah.
It'd kill me.
Oh,
that movie
so good. I know. It makes me a wreck. I am a
an
puddle at the end.
absolute wreck every time because it's fun for the whole family.
Yeah.
It's
so
funny.
true. I watched it for the first time with my parents.
It's funny. It's cute. It's deeply emotional, and also there's some. I love that movie.
No, it's so good.
And the whole people forget it's about time travel.
Mm-hmm.
You forget that,
and they somehow managed to do it in not that lame of a way,
and not lame at all. It's almost like the time travel aspect is very played down. They don't.
So true.
Even at the end of the movie, I just watched it recently. He's like, I don't even go back in time anymore, even to leave. They just make it. They make it like an introspective movie where time travel is just a plot device.
So true.
To look back on your past, and it's not even. It's more like memory. Every time he time travels, it's quite literally him remembering. Mm-hmm. Which I just thought was so good. And the whole thing with his dad.
I know.
Oh my God.
So
and his
good.
children too. The whole.
No, that movie's amazing.
Oh,
could rave about that one. And we watched that on a whim. Seems like I'm watching a lot of movies with my parents, but they have nothing better to do. They're retired. So.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's where I get all my good movie recommendations from my parents. Oh, I love it.
Every time I see my parents, they're like, "Have you seen this? Have you seen this?"
Mm-hmm.
Netflix.
That's what you do when you're an adult. Is just talk to your parents about what shows they're watching.
100%.
And try and get them interested in your movies.
Yeah,
or,
and get kicked off the phone bill.
And get kicked off in the Netflix and it's God, nightmare.
So hard to be alive.
Oh God, I love that movie though.
Well, okay. The last question I have for you.
Okay, this wasn't on the pre-form.
Is your hater mode activated today?
My what?
Your hater mode.
My hater mode?
Yeah.
I mean, I can turn it on.
I feel like you're not a hater. I feel like you can be a hater.
I can be a hater. It makes my heart hurt a little bit.
Sure.
I've found in hindsight, but if I need to turn it on,
yes. Well, we hated on a couple good things today.
Yeah, Glen Powell. I mean, that was...
Hater mode activated when it comes to
Glen
Glen
it's a little
Powell.
bit on right now.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
I would say my hater mode... Actually, if I'm honest, it might not be on today. I'm having a great day.
Is that
it's
just
been a pleasure hanging out with you.
Is that just the question? Is your hater mode on? There's not a follow-up to that?
That's it. That's where I like to leave it. Like, are you feeling like a hater?
Oh, like at this moment, then no, I'm going to change my answer.
All right.
Because I thought you were going to be like, is your hater mode on because we're about to hate on some people?
No.
Is my hater mode on? No, absolutely not. My hater mode is not on.
Okay. You're feeling good.
I'm feeling great. I got these glasses. Neutral. I'm feeling neutral as hell. I'm like just enough drunk where feeling great. Yeah, no, I'm having a good time.
In fact, nothing could piss you off, even Glen Powell.
Glen Powell could piss me off. Glen Powell could absolutely piss me off.
Well, thank you for letting me these amazing glasses and coming on my podcast today.
Thank you for having me.
It was my absolute pleasure.
It was my pleasure.
Has anyone told you you're pretty good at having a chat?
Yeah, like plenty of people. I'm
really
a great hang.
Yeah, you're sort of amazing at this. It's like you're a pro.
I'm a professional yapper.
So you might have to come back on my podcast sometime.
Twist my arm.
Seriously. Well, thank you for joining me. And thank you guys for listening. We'll be back next week. Love you all so much. Rate, review, subscribe, and watch the video episode if you listen to this one because we look amazing. We actually have never looked better.
Oh, I think at the very end here, you got to just take off your glasses to react to how red the world is about to be.
I'm scared. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. It's actually bright pink.
Your walls look real different, don't they?
That's scary.
Your green walls are looking a lot pinker than they used to be.
My world has been changed. Well, thank you guys for listening. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.
And that's a wrap. I had fun. How about you? As always, thank you for living, laughing, loving, and most importantly, listening to my podcast. Want to stay in the loop? You can find us at Pessimistic at Best on Instagram, or if it's me you're looking for, that'll be at Sam Georgeson on all platforms. Don't forget to rate and review the show, and if bonus content is your thing, you can gain access to extra episodes by joining our Patreon. The link is in our show notes. And last but certainly not least, shout out to James for being the brains behind this operation. Couldn't do it without you, honey. Okay, see you next week.